Autographs Through the Mail, episode number 33, When It Was a Game. So first off, I'm going to show a couple of personal collection items and explain the reason why I'm showing these two specific cards. So let's get started here. We've got personal item number one. We've got Jose Canseco, 1982 Fritsch, Madison Muskies. This is his very first card. You can see a pretty thin Jose on there. I looked on the back of this and he's 6'3", 185. So I'm guessing this was either right when he started steroids or shortly before that. I think he did say he was doing roids in the minors, but he's pretty thin there, so maybe he didn't start yet. So we got the other half of the Bash Brothers here, a 1985 Topps Mark McGwire. Got a few of these. I think I have another one of the Jose cards also. So pretty awesome card there. The reason why I'm showing those two cards is because what I'm showing this episode are just minor league cards. And those two cards are the very first cards of both those guys. And they would have been made before either one of them made the major leagues. So let's get started here. First off, we've got Mark Souza, 1975 TCMA Waterloo Royals. And one thing I have no idea what the minors was like in the 70s and 80s. I can only imagine that there wasn't a lot of fans at a lot of these games. These guys, it just seems like nowadays the minor league games, there's a lot more going on with, trying to keep the fans entertained and people doing other things, participating in games or whatever. I would imagine they didn't have a lot of that back in the days. And I just kind of think I just imagine these guys playing, in front of a couple hundred people maybe. I don't know, but it just seems like that probably was the case. I like to imagine it that way anyways. But next off we got here is Craig Mitchell. So that's why I'm kind of saying when it was a game. These guys would have just been toiling around. A lot of these guys made the majors, but they didn't have long careers, and they kind of bounced back and forth between the minors and the majors. That would have been a hard life traveling. You can imagine the conditions weren't as good as they are now, even though they're probably not that good for minor leaguers in general, but I'm sure they're much better now than they were back then. So next we got a Phil Natsu. This is a Phoenix Giants card from 79. Next we got a 1980 TCMA. Most of these are going to be TCMA cards. This is Bobby Mitchell with the Albuquerque Dukes. And then we got a 79 there, the Dukes as well. Next we got Thomas McMillan. I'm not sure who made these cards, but this is from 75. Oklahoma City 89ers. You just don't see a lot of these cards. So that's why I chose to go through the ones I have and try to get whoever signs out, try to get them back. Next we got 84 Iowa Cubs, Tom Filer. We got a 79, 2 of 2 here from Roger Holt, Columbus Clippers. Next we got Joe Strain, a couple more Phoenix Giants cards there, 79 and 78. Next, we got a nice looking signature here, Gary Gray. We got a 75 Anderson Rangers. And then a 78 Tucson Toros. And there's a 79 TCMA. Next, we got Stan Huff. So some of these players ended up in multiple sets this year. This was the Jackson Mets here, and I think they were the single A team. And next we got Tidewater Tides. They were the triple A teams for the Mets. Next we got Jeff Cox. And a lot of these guys that I'm showing, they ended up on the 75, 76, 77 Topps cards where they had the 4-player rookie cards. John O'Rear, Albuquerque Dukes, 79. I know Rob Dressler is one of those guys on those cards. Got a 79 here. And then a Phoenix Giants from 75. I think these are Kramer cards. They're black and white. These are also Kramer cards. 78 Phoenix there. 75. Got, I'm not sure, something Cardinals. So, these are very basic cards. There's no biography info other than, height and weight, age. And the stats are pretty minimal on these. But, they're just, I don't know. I just can imagine like these guys riding the buses and playing in front of a couple dozen fans or whatever. Tim Norrid, he's on a 79 Topps card. 3-player rookie card. John Pasella. Tom Brennan. This is Raleigh Stillman. Again, here's another guy who had 2 cards from the 79 TCMA sets. Next, we got a guy who was a player in the minors, and then he was a manager in the minors and the majors. Terry Collins. Probably the best player out of all these is Floyd Rayford. Probably played for 10 years in the majors and played for the Cardinals and Orioles. And finally, we got Brian Kingman. This is a 77 San Jose Missions, and then a 79 TCMA. He is a member of the infamous 20-loss club. He lost 20 games in 1980. Pretty difficult feat. But he played for not a good Oakland A's team. Pretty terrible, and I think he had a lot of bad luck that year. He was actually a pretty good pitcher. So happy to get that one back and all these. So, guys, check out the links below. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. This is a little different than what I'm usually doing. Much more obscure players. But I think it's kind of important to, get some of these cards that you don't see hardly ever signed, And I got a lot of responses. Probably responses from almost all these guys. They responded to my questions. And some of them were really thankful. They appreciated me writing to them and asking questions. So check out the links below, guys. We got eBay, ComC, and my Instagram links below. And stay tuned. Thanks for watching.